So it seems like we're now about to be going to getting an origin story now of like kind of Mavis and Zeref about what exactly like happens between those two. But then as well, I thought that was kind of going to be the whole point of Fairy Tail Zero. If you remember that, that was like an origin story, like how Fairy Tail was founded. And you know, we did get to see Zeref in that story, and it's kind of like they kind of skipped a lot of the interaction between Mavis and Zeref. So it seems like now they're going to be finally addressing that, which is like, okay, if you wanted to do that in the main story, then kind of why was Zero there in the first place? I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a good fucking manga, but I don't know, it's like I felt like kind of like with this, it felt like this should have been in Zero if it was going to be addressed like this. But it's like we get to see the entire guild is all back, you know, they're all celebrating, and of course, like, you know, since like Makarov's back, and they're like saying, well, he's the master now, because it's like, yeah, I'm quitting, like that. It's like that was just like one of the things, like just didn't care, like she was just like, oh fuck it, like I mean, I thought that would have been more good for her character, like that, if like, because Makarov, like, how many times, like, this is like the second or third time that he's come back. He asked, like, Gildas to become the master, so he didn't. Like, you had that Macau as well, was like the master, he quit because of that made more Urza. I think 3 strikes and you're fucking out. How many times have you been a fucking master now, Makarov? It's like, come on. I mean, I know you do it well, but you've got to let someone else have that mantle by now. It's like, you really never gonna fucking die. Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, everyone was all like drinking, yucking it up, having a good time. You know, Lucy was getting a little bit fucking tipsy, but then everyone kind of remembers, like, you know, now that we got finally everyone back, the Alvarez are really gonna fucking strike now. It's like they've seen what exactly these guys can do. They've seen what Brandish and the other guys. You've seen that Zeref controls his country. Now that they've got time to do this, like, I'm pretty sure right now Alvarez is preparing their forces to say, these guys really fucking try to do this sly shit on us. We're gonna send everything we got. And Makarov is like there saying, listen, like, yeah, I'm sorry guys, I fucked up, but he's like, my plan was a failure, but regardless, they are gonna strike us back. And like, Nazi's like, you know what? I'm not fucking scared. I don't give a shit. It's like, you know, it's a parcel you don't have to put down. We'll be able to launch together once again. We have to fight. You know, our goal is not victory. We're gonna fight to live. That is our battle. And it's just like, yeah, that was a kind of a good speech right there. You see everyone there, and it's just like, you know, everyone seems ready. I was like, it seems like now, like, maybe after like this whole little backstory and everything, it's like, yeah, they're gonna strike that. However, I felt like, you know what, they still should have done some training. It's like, you shouldn't go back out there because look what happened. You guys got fucking wasted. Like, you guys didn't think, you really think now, like, after, like, just, like, giving them a little slap and just them teaching you a lesson, you really think now, I don't know, like, that bit just kind of hurt me. It's like, I definitely think, like, after this origin story, it's, like, definitely, like, they should have, like, at least if they're gonna go there, like, on a ship or something like that, at least fucking train or something, like, you know, we need to get them, like, because how are, like, these guys going to take on these guys, like, these mages? Like, I mean, you got Laxus there, he was pretty goddamn strong, you got Makarov, like, you got the God Tribe, but it's like, can those guys really take on, like, the power that we just seen there? So, I don't know, I feel like, you know, some shit's going to happen later on, which I'm a little bit worried about in the art, but it's like, you know, they did say, you know, Mira and all them have been training to fight and seeing, like, how strong they are, so I am kind of curious to how strong they've gotten up to the level that these guys are going to be, like, they're all at the power of the gods to, like, selling there, so I'm really curious about, but the last part of the chapter was the most interesting part of it, and it's just like, Markov decides to tell everyone about the whole thing with Lumen, like his story or Theory Heart, and it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna start talking about this right now. It's like, literally, Mavis enters right now, and it's like, okay, you know, let me talk about the 6th. No, or should I say you're the 8th guild master now, and it's just like, she appears in front of everyone in Fairy Tail, and it's just like, you know what? I know the reason why Zeref wants that power, and it's the story of the cursed boy and the cursed girl. It's just like, both people that are cursed with, like, immortality, pretty much. Like she's never gonna, like, get a real body like that, and, like, Zeref as well, he's immortal, so it kind of, like, you, with that little addition, like, you kind of understand why these two probably were able to get along. Not to mention as well, you know, they were both pretty much, like, the difference of the pinnacles are different, like, each other of the scale, like life and death. So I'm very curious about it, saying, you know, oh, the truth behind the single magic, and there was like saying, oh, is it love or is it darkness? And it's like, I generally think that these two might have actually cared for each other, but then something must have snapped in Zeref that, like, made a change to him like that. Or maybe it was, you know, the Acnologia going after him. Like, we don't know, but we do know that the next chapter is going to be focusing all on that. So I am curious about what exactly happened between these two, but Other than that, honestly, there wasn't too much to be even said about this chapter. Like, the only real bit at the end was like, yeah, we're going to strike back. We shouldn't really do that yet, to be fair. Like, we need to kind of train for this shit, and basically made this reveal in the story. So, honestly, like, it was an average chapter, to be fair. Like, honestly, I would give it a 5.5 just because of, like, the more interesting thing that is basically what Mavis is going to explain. But yeah, that's, like, really kind of what we expected. Mark Roll's back, everyone's having a laugh, preparing, we're going to strike back, so there wasn't too much to this week's chapter. But next week I'm really looking forward to this little backstory, but kind of thought that this would have been in there. But mind you, there was some stuff that was omitted from like the zero. Like there was a bit that was crossed out, like, oh, this is what happened to this day or that, or like explaining how some characters die. So I'm curious about maybe that might have some of the stuff to do with it. So maybe like if you guys have read Zero, like I personally haven't read all of it yet. I did see that last kind of like chapter though, see what it was all about. I'm really looking forward to see, like, you know, what's more of it, like what's going to happen more with it, especially with next week's chapter. But that's all from me, so thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.